All right, so this video is for the PAC Closet Library, and I was going to make a couple other videos, but it required some setup, so I thought I'd just go through basically the main demo for how the library works with floor standing. So we'll go through this kind of quick, so you don't have to watch a 20-minute video, but you never know. So if I go to my settings, I'm always picking the PAC Closets template. This is for slab for now. And then when I go to room, I'm going to make sure I pick the PAC Closets room template. That's going to make sure everything comes out to 14 inches, a little over. And then I'm going to do a quick room, shorten up this side so we can just focus on a corner section. We're going to be doing a bridge section today, not a 90-degree corner. Going to kind of keep it simple. Now that we have the room laid out, we'll go to products. And then we can have a little fun. So go to products. And what I like to do actually is, this is a trick just for if you're designing in front of a customer or whatever you're doing. I'm on a single screen here, but I'm opening up the 3D viewer while I build in plan view. So it kind of helps us visualize, well, it really helps us visualize what's going on. So I'm going to go into the floor standing panels. Remember, you've got standard panels, LED, hang, back panels. We're going to stick around in the standing panels for now, and I'm going to bring in a 96. And I'm just going to start bumping this up against the wall right now. So I'm using a lot of these bump arrows here, right? Use that a lot. In multi-select, I'll drag boxes and move things around all the time. And then I'm going to throw in another floor standing 96 on the left side. And then we'll throw in a section. So we'll go to floor standing sections. I'm sticking with the 96 for now. And let's do a drawer section actually. So we'll go down here to the 5 shelf, 4 drawer, 555 1S. Kind of a wild section, but useful, mostly jewelry, I'd say. And then let's go back to the floor standing. We'll bring in the 96. We're just adding another panel. And then the double hang is the DH. This is a little bit long for a double hang, but what do we have here? 37? Nah, it's fine. All right, so we can see right now we've got it set at a 2-inch toe recess. Now, typically in closets, you know, traditional closets, we're lining the toe up with the line bore. This one isn't lined up because you'll see a lot of times now it's more popular to have either a flush toe or maybe a 1-inch toe recess. So I'm gonna go over to job parms here, turn on the little circle thing. Okay, and then I will go to toe category and change my recess to 1 inch. Now, while we're here, before we start doing this corner section, just want to talk about a feature that we have with single panels and sections. In normal mosaic, you can't do a notched panel. But in the Pack Closet library, of course, we have down in the other category, we've got this Conto notch. You're going to turn this on. And now you can add another skin down here and scribe it to the floor. That's just in case you have a really humped out floor or it's out of level and you don't want to just set the closet to meet the contour of the floor and you actually want to shim it. We're definitely never scribing panels to the ground or subtoes, only that front continuous toe. And the other option, of course, is to get rid of the toe notch and just do a furniture or an applied toe right off the front. There's a whole video for that, so I'm not going to go into that too much, but this is all part of the demo, right? Okay, so now what we're going to do is set up this corner section. So we obviously want a bridge shelf here because we're doing bridge shelves, but what we want to avoid placing them in the wrong order. So what I like to do, floor standing panels, we'll drop a 96 right here. And then I'll go down to the clearance down here at the bottom left and just put in like 12 inches. Okay. So we want about, we could do a minimum of 23 or 24 inches from here to here, but just visually, psychologically, when someone's using this closet, they might like a few extra inches. So I go with 26 or 27 or something. You could go wider if you want, but this is a good sweet spot. Now, before we add the bridge shelf, it's we still want to add another section. So I'll go into the 96 and let's throw down an 8S, so 8 shelves. Perfect. Now we're going to put in our bridge shelf, or we could do another section here. Now for the bridge shelf. And the BR, the bridge shelf is down here. We got a left toe. We're going to bring him in. We're going to say place anyways. And then I'm going to bump this over. And this is like the classic thing that just I apparently cannot remember to delete out of the library. I have to do this on setup every time. But we clear this, save this back to library. Okay, that bridge shelf should not have a fixed shelf. That's what I just did there. So now we'll see we have this bridge section, and we don't need to tamper with the width. It just is more than it needs to be because you will cut this down on site. And if we look at it in wireframe, we'll see that this bridge shelf does have the outriggers. Doesn't have outriggers on this side. That's because you're using a mending plate or you're using an H channel. And you can check out the PAC hardware and accessories if you want to find out more about that hardware that I just mentioned. All right, and I said I was going to keep this quick, so let's go a little quicker. And of course, you know, this is one of your options for a corner. You could also just leave it blank, which I'm not a huge fan of. I think there should be some kind of continuous fixed shelf around the top. Or you could go in here and just pull in. Let's go into floor staining sections again, 96. You have just this BR left toe. Cool. Place that. And we'll bump it over and you can see it's really nice to just be able to place these in here and have them already be adjusted to what you need. All right. So other than that, we've gone through our recessed toe, gone through our bridges. Oh, this was supposed to be one without a left toe. Totally fibbed. This is it right here. So we'll place it, we'll bump it to the left. Now we just have the top. This would make install even easier, and you definitely have um, this nice little bridge up there. As far as being away from the wall clearance, it's really up to you. If you're totally new to closets, you want at least a 1/4 inch here up against the wall, right? If you're going to use fillers instead of just doing auto reveal, you want 3/4 of an inch or 1 1/4, whatever's more comfortable for you and the guys. Remember though, the less scribing the better. So if you can get away with a 1/4 inch reveal, that's the ultimate goal here. So let's pull this back up. Right. Other than this, maybe I'll just make this a part 2 or 3. That's really all you need to do for starting out a closet, drafting it. I'll show you a couple features here. You know, if we wanted to make these different depths, we can highlight everything all at once. We need to move this bridge shelf. You can highlight everything all at once, and then you can actually change the depth down here all at once. You can make them all 16 if you need to make them 16. Just keep in mind that front line bore is still at 68 millimeters from the back, so you have to make sure you're looking out for that. Another thing we can do with the library, which is super nice, is we can add full backs. So let's go to the job parms, backs. I'll just turn on backs for all cabinets. And we just lost 3/4 of an inch of space in the depth, so that's why I made it 16. But you can see here, we have all these holes for our wedge fixes, which is amazing because we can put those on the back side. They're not exposed, they're all hidden fasteners, and we just push the back in. That's if you need to do full backs. Full backs is another thing that we don't really bring it up unless we have to because we don't want to do it and we might not be making enough money on full backs. So I'll really try to sell without backs. But it's nice to have the feature if you need it. Other than that, there's about 95,000 other things that you can do with the library, but that's what all the other videos are for. This is kind of just a quick draft. And if we wanted to send this to the CNC, and yes, I'm skipping over pricing. I'm not ready for that video yet. We are going to simply There's one thing you need to do before you go to the CNC, one main thing. Besides just regular closet design, we have to think about for engineering these outriggers. Or if you're not using the outrigger hole, just look at the 20 mil hole for your Rafix or Titus. They have to line up with the line bore. The library is meant to protect you from this not lining up. These outriggers do not make their own 5 mm hole. They are expecting a hole to be there for them. So if you really are off-roading, they might come in a different place. You'd have to totally screw it up at this point, though. I have so many fail-safes in there and formulas built in um, to keep it good. But the point being, check out a bottom, check out a fixed shelf, check out a top. Make sure they're all lined up. If they are, you're golden. One caveat to that would be the toe. And we don't really need to use outriggers here. We could use the wedge fix or whatever, but the toe is making its own holes. And that, like I mentioned at the beginning, that's more popular these days. Because we're not really, with this library, we're not interested in, panel one being completely uh, completely identical to panel five. Panel one goes where panel one goes. It doesn't go where panel five goes. We have labels, or you're using Sharpie on your panels on on an edge. We don't need to have interchangeable panels. And other than that, go ahead and send this to the machine. Like I say, every time you use the library for the first time, just cut out a single section. Don't cut out an entire closet your first time, because you don't know if your drill block is completely in line with your spindle, or if you're not using a drill block, what other kind of issues you have. Chances are you have zero issues, but we don't want to find out after we cut 40 sheets of material. So go through, cut your first one. Other than that, just wait for the next video. I'll have some more info for you. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, send me a message, whatever you want to do. I'm here to help.